At a man and woman in their car, and what happens when another man with a gun approaches the gunman. Also, the urgent hunt right now in another horrific shooting. At least 4 people killed, 6 wounded, family and friends gathered, children too, when police say the gunman got into the backyard and began firing. The verdict just in tonight. Breaking news: the man accused of killing his fiancée, a young mom, last seen with her daughter on Thanksgiving 1 year ago. The jury taking just 3 hours to deliberate, and tonight their verdict in. The impeachment showdown tonight. President Trump now suggesting he might answer questions in the impeachment inquiry. Critics say that is very unlikely, and tonight all eyes soon on the witnesses who were listening in on that call with the president of Ukraine, set to testify before the American people in the morning. Also late today, the passenger jet evacuated when a passenger had a backpack that was smoking. Flight attendants jumping into action. Overseas tonight, the tense standoff right now. Is it the last stand in Hong Kong? Our correspondent is there. The nor'easter here at home, moving up the East Coast, rain, snow, and ice right into the Northeast. We time it out. The Queen tonight standing behind Prince Andrew after what some are calling a disastrous interview about Jeffrey Epstein, saying he found Epstein's conduct unbecoming.
Unbecoming. He was a sex offender.
Yeah.
And the heart-pounding moment tonight.
Open the door!
An 8-year-old girl saved from her kidnapper.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here as we start another week, and we are following 2 developing stories, 2 deadly shootings, the urgent hunt underway at this hour, and the other deadly shooting at another Walmart, this time in Oklahoma in the parking lot. The gunman targeting a man and a woman in a car, riddling the windshield with bullet holes, then a bystander with a gun approaching the suspect in the parking lot. The gunman would then turn the weapon on himself. At least 9 shots fired, family members rushing to the scene. ABC's Marcus Moore is also on the scene tonight from Duncan, Oklahoma.
The calls came in just before 10 o'clock this morning.
I'm getting several reports of shots fired at Walmart parking lot.
Police racing to this Walmart 80 miles south of Oklahoma City.
This is a very sad tale that's unfolding here in Duncan, Oklahoma.
Schools placed on lockdown.
We know that 2 people were inside of this red car you're seeing right here with the bullet holes in the windshield.
3 people, including the alleged shooter, dead. A handgun found at the scene.
We have 2 white males and a white female. 2 of the victims are inside a vehicle. 1 is outside the vehicle.
A witness telling station KOCO that before the gunman took his own life, an armed citizen approached the man.
He told him to stop, and then after that, the shooter did stop, and then he turned the gun on himself.
Police say this was an isolated incident outside the store, but the shooting comes just days after the Walmart in El Paso reopened, where a gunman killed 22 people in August.
With the history in the last several years, it has a lot of impact. It makes people very fearful. It makes people wonder what's going on.
So let's get right to Marcus Moore tonight. He's live from Duncan, Oklahoma. And any word on a motive tonight, Marcus?
Well, David, police are not commenting on a motive, but they do say that the victims and the alleged shooter all knew each other. And tonight, investigators are looking at surveillance images, trying to get a better picture of what happened in this parking lot. David?
Marcus Moore, our thanks to you tonight. Also developing just before we came on the air, a verdict in a case that has made national headlines in Colorado, a jury finding Patrick Frazee guilty on all counts in the death of his fiancée, that young mom, Kelsey Barrett. Frazee was accused of bludgeoning Barrett to death while their 1-year-old daughter was in a nearby room. Barrett was last seen with their daughter at a supermarket on Thanksgiving Day a year ago. Her body was never found. The jury taking just 3 hours to determine guilty on all counts. ABC's Clayton Sandell on this breaking story. He's at the courthouse tonight.
Tonight, Patrick Frazee is a convicted murderer. The jury taking just 3.5 hours to determine he killed his fiancée, Kelsey Barrett.
It was a sweet day in the sense that justice was brought to Patrick Frazee for this brutal, gruesome, senseless murder.
Barrett was last seen shopping with the couple's daughter last Thanksgiving.
Patrick, why don't you talk to us?
In a trial that lasted just over 2 weeks, Frazee's former mistress, Crystal Lee, testified Frazee wanted Barrett out of his life, admitting he went to her condo, tricked her into putting on a blindfold, beat her to death with a baseball bat, then burned her body. Lee admitted she cleaned up the bloody crime scene and destroyed Barrett's phone, cutting a deal to become the prosecution's star witness. The prosecution's final witness, one of Frazee's fellow inmates in county jail, who claims Frazee asked for his help to kill all of the witnesses who were set to testify against him.
Clayton Sandell with us live tonight. He's outside the courthouse in Clayton. Not only did the jury come back fast, but Frazee was also just sentenced.
Yeah, David, it happened fast. Just moments ago, Frazee was sentenced to the maximum: life in prison, no parole, and an additional 156 years. David?
Clayton, thank you. And now to the search underway at this hour, the other deadly shooting we're following tonight, and that urgent manhunt playing out right now in California. Families and their children were gathered to watch Sunday night football when two gunmen got onto the property, into the backyard, and began firing. At least 4 were killed, several more shot. Mothers and their children grieving tonight, and in that California community and beyond, they are searching for the suspects. Matt Gupman is there tonight.
Tonight, an all-out manhunt for a hit squad that filled this Fresno street with gurneys.
All units are responding. They may be having multiple victims come in.
EMS out to the back.
A group of 30 family and friends watching football. 10 people were shot. 4 of them would die.
They came through an unlocked gate. They walked into the backyard and began immediately firing into the crowd.
Police say the group in the backyard of that watch party were unaware they were about to be gunned down.
More EMS ambulances out here.
One more en route.
Police say the 2 gunmen were reportedly armed with semi-automatic pistols. And there were so many victims that every first responder in Fresno was called out. Inside the house itself, about 20 others, including women and children.
Thankfully, the children were inside the house at the time, but they could have just as easily been injured or killed.
What the gunmen left behind was grisly and traumatizing.
I had 2 of my officers that were covered in blood and actually had to be decontaminated.
Police say it appears to have been a targeted attack in the community predominated by Southeast Asians, but that no one at the party seemed to have gang affiliations.
We're coming for you. This is not going to be tolerated.
David, now the surviving victims have told police that they could not identify that pair of shooters because all they saw were those muzzle flashes. Now, police have been going door to door looking for eyewitnesses or even surveillance video that could help identify those killers. So far, no leads. David.
Matt Gupman on this story all day for us. Thank you, Matt. In the meantime, we move on to other news this Monday night, the impeachment showdown, televised hearings first thing in the morning. And this week, 9 witnesses with a major difference. Some of these witnesses were actually listening on that phone call between President Trump and the president of Ukraine. And one witness, the ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland, spoke with President Trump about what he wanted in Ukraine. It all comes as our new ABC News Ipsos poll shows 70% of Americans believe the president's request to a foreign leader to investigate a political rival is wrong. ABC's Mary Bruce tonight on the new offer from President Trump that he might now answer questions in the inquiry. Skeptics say that's unlikely. Mary's on the Hill.
Tonight, President Trump is suggesting he may take the House Speaker up on her offer to testify in the impeachment inquiry.
The president could come right before the committee and speak all the truth that he wants.
Pelosi saying Trump could even do it in writing. The president's response, even though I did nothing wrong, I like the idea and will strongly consider it. But that seems unlikely. Trump is currently blocking White House officials from testifying, and he's attacked those who have.
He should not frivolously throw out insults, but that's what he does. I think part of it is his own insecurity as an imposter.
The president has dismissed the public testimony so far as hearsay, but that changes tomorrow, when Congress is set to hear from 3 officials who were on that call between Trump and the Ukrainian president. Jennifer Williams, a special advisor to the vice president, called it unusual and inappropriate. And Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, a top Ukraine expert on the National Security Council, told investigators, I did not think it was proper to demand that a foreign government investigate a U.S. citizen. But the most anticipated witness of the week is Gordon Sondland, the Trump mega donor turned U.S. ambassador to the EU. Sondland has already revised his testimony once, admitting he personally told the Ukrainians that if they wanted nearly $400 million in military aid, they would have to publicly commit to investigate the Bidens. Trump has tried to distance himself.
Let me just tell you, I hardly know the gentleman.
Diplomat David Holmes testified he overheard one of their phone calls from a restaurant in Kiev. Trump asking whether the Ukrainian president was going to do the investigation. Holmes says Ambassador Sondland replied that he's gonna do it, adding that President Zelensky will do anything you ask him to.
Do you recall having a conversation with Sondland?
I don't recall, no, not at all, not even a little bit.
Holmes said Sondland told him when it comes to Ukraine, Trump only cares about big stuff that benefits the president, like the Biden investigation. Tonight, Democrats announced Holmes, too, will testify in public on Thursday.
So let's get right to Mary Bruce. She's live up on the Hill to begin another week. And Mary, David Holmes, as you just reported there, he'll testify Thursday. And we all know that's one day after Gordon Sondland. And Sondland is perhaps the most anticipated witness of this entire impeachment inquiry.
David, Sondland has been acting as a middleman between President Trump and Ukraine. He testified that he told the Ukrainians that military aid was contingent on them announcing these investigations. But Sondland claims he didn't know these were investigations into the Bidens. He has already revised his testimony once, though. The big question here now, will he change it again? David.
We'll be watching right there with you, Mary. Thank you. ABC News will have live coverage. The hearings on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday begins tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, right here on ABC. Meantime, President Trump's unannounced visit to Walter Reed Army Medical Center on Saturday still raising questions tonight. The White House now explaining that the president had a, quote, free weekend, so he went for a, quote, quick exam in labs, the first part of his annual physical, they say. His first two physicals since taking office were scheduled and announced. This one was not. The last physical was in February. Overseas tonight in Hong Kong, police are tightening the noose around the university campus where protesters are holed up tonight. Their supplies now running out. Police firing pepper spray to try to get them to leave, arresting protesters who then escaped. The situation growing more desperate by the hour. And ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell right there on the scene tonight.
Tonight, the David versus Goliath battle. Some calling this the last stand in the fight between pro-democracy protesters and police, now in its 6th month. Police firing rubber bullets, water cannon and tear gas surrounding Hong Kong's Poly University, where 500 students are now trapped inside. Protesters responding with bricks, bows and arrows and Molotov cocktails. Once again, the police firing water cannon. This isn't at the Polytechnic University. That's under siege. These are the streets all around it. But now many protesters are trapped, unable or unwilling to leave. Their only way out, arrest. Overnight, those under 16 have been allowed to leave along with the injured, though it's not clear whether or not they'll still be charged, leaving just a few hundred trapped inside who also want to leave but still refuse to surrender. David?
Ian Pannell tonight, thank you. And from London this evening, Queen Elizabeth reportedly approving of the interview that her son Prince Andrew gave to the BBC, breaking his silence about his friendship with accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and the claims that he had sex with a teenager years ago. But many are now calling the interview a disaster. And here's Eva Pilgrim.
Tonight, Prince Andrew facing growing backlash after speaking publicly for the first time about his relationship with accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein.
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Yes.
Unbecoming? He was a sex offender.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being polite, in the sense that he was a sex offender.
The prince telling BBC's Newsnight he has no regrets about his friendship with Epstein before he was convicted in 2008 of soliciting prostitution from a minor. But just months after Epstein's sentence ended, the prince was seen in this video obtained by the Mail on Sunday, appearing in the doorway of Epstein's New York home. He says he came to end their friendship, but admits he stayed for 4 days.
But you were staying at the house of a convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to stay. I've gone through this in my mind so many times. At the end of the day, with the benefit of all the hindsight that one could have, it was definitely the wrong thing to do.
The prince insists he never saw any unlawful conduct involving underage girls and has no memory of the 17-year-old in that infamous photo.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
Virginia Roberts Dufresne says she was one of Epstein's teenage sex slaves, claiming in court filings he ordered her to have sex with Andrew on 3 occasions. The prince flatly denies the allegations, suggesting the photo could be a fake.
I'm not one to, as it were, hug, and public displays of affection are not something that I do.
Andrew claiming he never really partied, but British media now running a string of photos showing the prince getting cozy with multiple women. This after he insisted Dufresne's account was impossible.
She was very specific about that night.